Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time. Oh, it's July. It's July. Can you believe it? I can't. Oh my word, it's like June was over like a blink, like a snap. It was crazy. I went hiking yesterday, actually 2 days ago, because yesterday it was rainy. So I'm filming this, it is 3:03 in the afternoon on Friday. It's actually really rainy and drizzly and cold today. After this, we've had a heat wave. It's been like in the 90s, and then bam, 57. And the yoga in the park, the outdoor yoga in the park is supposed to start today. I don't know if it's still starting, but it's too cold. I can't imagine being on the riverfront doing yoga outside because it's going to be even colder there, and I'm spleeny, and I'm accustomed to 90-degree weather now, and I just can't go back to the 60s anymore. So I'm totally going to flake out on that if they're even doing it. It's been raining all day, so I can't imagine they're going to do it, but if they do, I'm out, because I've got pizza dough raising upstairs, and I'm thinking stay home and eat pizza or outdoor cold yoga. I think pizza wins it. It's like, did you say Pilates or pie and lattes? Sign me up for the pie and lattes, friends. Oh, it's been a long time since I had pie. My birthday's coming up, and I'm thinking about asking for a strawberry rhubarb pie, because that's like my favorite pie, and I haven't had one in years. I'm not going to eat a whole pie, but I haven't had any of that in years. My other favorite thing is like the Daya cheesecakes. Those are so good. They're so good. They're so fattening, but they are so tasty. So I'm kind of debating between those two for a birthday sweet. But I just found out that there's actually a company in Bangor, Maine that makes vegan donuts. And they're called the Donut Grove. And they did a story I saw it on the internet, on Facebook, because they did a story, our local TV channel did a story on them. It's like, how has this vegan donut shop been operating a couple towns over, and I have never heard of them. So anyways, they sell at a farmer's market one day a week, and I'm going to try to get there this weekend. Although the Sunday's going to be the 4th of July, I don't know if the farmer's market's going to even be open. I don't know if there's going to be the parade downtown, if I'll be able to get anywhere near the farmer's market. I don't know. So I might have to wait till like the following week. But they had donuts that had like cream in them, like a jelly donut. Like they had raspberry cream donuts. I'm like, that looks so delicious. I haven't had a donut since I was like 17 years old. So I'm like so excited to have a donut. I wonder if their regular flour, because I've had like gluten-free whoopie pies before, and it's when they do the gluten-free products, because a lot of times they'll do vegan and gluten-free together, so they can like kind of have a more expanded market. Any place where I've gone to, like, you know, that's had like kind of like health food, junk food. The gluten-free stuff is very dry and crumbly and too sweet, because they have to like make up for the gluten with something. And gluten is like the stretchy parts that hold the dough together. And so you lose a lot on the texture, and it's kind of not worth it. I haven't found any gluten-free vegan stuff to be worth the trouble or worth the calories, but man, they use glutinous flour, so I'm pretty excited. I hope I can score myself one of those tasty, tasty donuts. They say they sell it fast. I'm thinking, where are all these vegans coming from? Because I've lived in this area for, 25 years, and I've nary to meet another vegan. Oh, I guess I'm just too much of a hermit in my basement making art videos. Where are all the vegans at? But man, yeah, that's encouraging. That's very encouraging, I think, anyway. So I got pizza dough rising upstairs. Had to make it Laurel Ingalls style, Little House on the Prairie, needing out my dough because I don't have a KitchenAid. Mind you, didn't know existed until a week ago. I didn't know this miraculous device existed until a week ago. So I'm there kneading the dough, feeling like a chump, feeling like a Luddite, kneading the dough by hand, although it's nice and springy. It's going to be delicious. And I was thinking, oh, I am going to find my pizza stone, and I'm going to cook the pizza on the pizza stone, because we had a pizza stone, and I never really got what the fuss was about. I never thought it was that much different than cooking it on a pan. But I'm like, oh, I want to give that a try, and I want to try preheating the pizza stone and getting the oven really hot, and then cooking the pizza. See if I can recapture some of the outdoor pizza oven magic from last weekend. And I looked for the pizza stone, and I think I actually KonMari'd it a couple of years ago. When I did my big KonMari clean out, I think I actually gave away my pizza stone. So, yeah, that was kind of a bummer. But then again, I was also thinking, how am I going to cook because I usually cook 3 pizzas and I cook a batch of breadsticks when I do pizza. And because we have a big family and there's usually, you know, an extra teenager around, one of the kids' significant others or will be around, or a friend will be around or something, and you know, so there'll be extra people around, so I want to have plenty of pizza. You never want to be stingy with the pizza. You want to have ample pizza for anyone that drops by. And it's like, if I have the pizza stone in there, I don't think I can cook all the pizzas, because as it is, I have to use, I do 2 like cookie sheets next to each other, and I kind of rotate them around. So I will do the, and that's not ideal, honestly. It'd be better, it'd probably be better to cook each one separately, but that would just take so long, because it takes 10 minutes per pizza to cook. So I usually start by pre-cooking some of the toppings. Like, I don't like raw onions, so I pre-cook some onions and eggplant or whatever I want to put on my pizza. I stick that like in the oven when it's preheating, and just to kind of soften it, and then kind of brown up the onions, brown up anything else, cook tomatoes if I'm going to put tomatoes, anything like that. I don't like squishy vegetables on my pizza, and let it dry, kind of dehydrate it, dry out, let it concentrate a little bit. And then I'll throw in the meaty cheesy pizzas, and then I'll do the breadsticks and the vegan pizza last. So I just kind of rotate it around like that, because I can only cook 2 at a time. And with the pizza stone, round things are not space savers. So really what I ought to do is try to find a rectangle pizza stone. But then again, I mean, do I really need it? If I've been making delicious pizza all these years, do I really need a pizza stone? By the way, I hope you weren't hoping for some arts and crafts information today, because who knows? Who knows if that's going to come along? Well, if you're, you know, if you heard a Sat Chat before, you know, it's just kind of like a big, who knows? It's a big mystery grab bag of the last week of our lives, right? It's our little chat. It's our weekend chat. So yeah, so we went hiking a couple days ago. It was beautiful outside. It was probably in the 80s. We brought the dog to the Holden Land Trust, and they had a kind of like a little scavenger hunt where there was like this little ticket that you'd pick up at the beginning of the trails, and then you could stamp a little thing on every one of the trailheads, and if you fill out the whole card, then you can mail it in and get like a little charm from the Holden Land Trust. So we didn't finish it up. We didn't fill it out. There were a couple trailheads we didn't find, and we were getting pretty warm, and it was buggy, and we were getting tired, and we were like, yeah, let's go home. The dog had a ball, but even the dog, I think, was about ready to go home, because she was, you know, it was just really, it was quite hot. But that was really neat to check that place out, and I want to definitely go again, because it does actually meet up with some other trails that I hike sometimes, but those other trails are part of the Audubon Society, and they don't allow dogs on their trails. So it's just interesting. It's so funny when you find a trail that actually hooks into other trails you've walked before, and it doesn't seem like they're really that geographically close, but it's just kind of interesting, like, to, you know, because you don't get there like a bird's eye view. You have to drive around and stuff to get places. So it's just kind of interesting. But anyways, what else happened this week? Oh, the brushes. So this week, my most popular video of the week was my what did I buy on Amazon Prime Day? And that video, I think, was Wednesday. But anyway, I show you guys some brushes that I picked up, and they're water brushes, but they're Sumi-E faux fur water brushes. And one of them came, like the cylinder that holds the water came broken in one of the packages, and I really was excited to use these. I didn't want to mail them back, because I had a feeling if I mailed them back, they would just get thrown away, and then they would send a new package. And I'm like, you know, there's 5 there. I probably don't need all of these. So I didn't want to send it back. But I did contact the seller, because I always love to see how customer service is. And they got right back to me. They said, because I asked if they would just replace the medium brown brush, because that was the only one that was damaged. All the other ones were fine. And they asked if I would just take a refund for that brush. So they refunded me like 1/6 of the price, and that was fine with me, because I thought that was fair. I didn't, you know, I figured if I send it back and I have to send a whole other one, I mean, I'm sure they didn't get any profit on that. But what I did was I used pliers, and I broke away the broken part, because it was kind of glued at the top and the bottom. So I broke those pieces away, and then I was able to insert the brush head part into the bottom cylinder, and I used Gorilla Glue to glue it in, and I just kind of spritzed it with water. I put the Gorilla Glue on, I spritzed it with water, put the top part in, and I kind of broke some of the top part off, so it was kind of like wiggly. I don't know. It was kind of difficult. I had to use pliers to kind of pick away all that clear plastic. It was kind of brittle. But anyway, I glued that in there, and then I'm just gonna, look how nice. Look at my fine handiwork. So I glued that in there. I used masking tape to kind of tape it, to clamp it basically, and let it sit overnight. And then, of course, I always overdo it with a Gorilla Glue because I'd rather just make sure it's really secure and it expands. And that's why I want to use Gorilla Glue, because it's very waterproof and it expands and really bonds well. And so then I used sandpaper and I sanded all the way around. And then I noticed that I thought this was a plastic handle, but when I sanded it was very shiny, like metallic looking. So it must be like aluminum or something, because I don't think I have, do I have a magnet? Oh, I might have a magnet actually. Do I? I have a magnet. I don't think it's steel. Well, no, it's not magnetic, so it's probably like aluminum. So anyway, I took a black paint marker and I just, after sanding it, I just touched it up with a black paint marker. I think it looks pretty good. And it's got a cap on it, so this will be a really nice juicy travel brush to take. So I was able to salvage the broken brush and make something useful out of it. And I've been enjoying these. I haven't used the white ones, but I've been enjoying the brown ones, which are a little bit snappier. They work really well. There's no smell to them. Somebody said that they clicked the link that I shared last Sat Chat and they were on their phone and it opened up the Amazon app, and the listing on the Amazon app said weasel hair. So I double checked what I bought and it said faux fur. So I'm wondering if maybe the app doesn't have as many products as the regular Amazon pages, so it just finds the closest thing when you click through if it opens the app. I don't know, but I just wanted to mention that to double check the materials that it's made out of if you're ordering them. And then another viewer reached out to me and she said, I found that brush set cheaper because I paid like $12, I think, for somewhere in the $12 to $13 with tax for that set of brushes. And then the price went up to like $15.99 after Prime Day. And somebody sent me a message and said that they found them, if they searched for those brushes, and they found another the same thing for $10.99, and it was the faux fur and everything. It's getting shipped from China though, but the shipping was free. It just takes like a month to get here. So I wanted to mention that, just save you a few dollars if you don't mind waiting longer for the brushes, if you're interested in them at all. But I will put the link to the one that I purchased and the one that will ship from China that will be a few dollars less if you're, it would actually be like $5 less if you got that one. But I thought it was really interesting because I didn't think to, I never thought to just search the product name to find them. I just clicked on the order because I always, if I'm recommending something that I bought, I want to make sure I get the exact same thing. Now, I guess things can change. Like if something runs out, they can like replace it on Amazon. I don't know how it all works, but there's some algorithm that runs the show over there, I guess. But I thought it was really interesting. And so far so good. I'm enjoying them, and I just want to give you an update on the customer service in case you were wondering how that turned out, because I opened up everything I got on Amazon live on camera pretty much, and that's where I discovered that it was damaged, and so I just wanted to follow up because I think it's, you want to let people know when a company does well. You want to let people know when a company is totally unresponsive or doesn't do well. I think that's fair. Okay, what else? Oh my gosh, my laptop. So I was working on my laptop on the porch the other day because it was so nice. And so if I sit on the porch, it's covered, so I can work out there in the daytime and not have a lot of glare. And then went to shut my laptop, and it was like the hinges seized up or something. I couldn't shut it. And as I was trying to shut it, like the screen, the back and the front of the screen was like kind of coming apart. And I was like, oh, that's not good. And so I showed it to my husband to see if I'm like, am I missing something? What is going on? And then the hinge snapped on one of them. So I couldn't remember how old my laptop was. I knew I'd had it quite a while. And so Jason looked up, because he always does my technological stuff research, because I just want something to work. I don't really care what brand it is. I don't care how much it costs. I mean, I care how much it costs, obviously, but I just want it to do the job. I don't need anything fancy. I use a track phone, for goodness sake. I don't need anything fancy. If it works, if it gets the quality that I need done, if I can do what I need to do, that's all I care. I don't care about brands or anything. That laptop's been great. It's an Acer. And so Jason looked up when he bought it, it was 2000, it was 6 years ago. What was that? 2016, 15, 2015, maybe? Oh my God, math. I'm an artist, not a math person. And so it was like 6 years, almost to the date. It was like August would be 6 years. And then my laptop before that, which was my first ever laptop, it was in like 2009. So it must have been 2009, 2015. So it was like 6 years to the day, pretty much. Like the laptops just seem to start falling apart. Actually, it's working fine. I'm not having any issues with it. I just can't close it. So it's become a desktop, basically. It's become a desktop where I've got to hold it open and carry it to where I want to work. But actually, that's not bad because it can help me shut off for the day if I have to leave my computer down here in my office rather than, you know, carry it around with me. Because it's really hard to, and you guys probably know if you've been working at home during the pandemic, it's really hard to be like, okay, it's 5 o'clock, quitting time, you know, because there's always one more thing you can do. There's always just, well, let me just take care of this or just take care of that. It's hard to have that boundary. So yeah, it's probably a blessing in disguise. Looking at my list here. Oh, it's World Watercolor Month, guys. So that's exciting. I love a good challenge. I do Inktober. I try to do Inktober every year, and the last 2 years I've succeeded. And I wanted to do World Watercolor Month this year. I did it once. It was before I ever tried Inktober. I did World Watercolor Month, and I think I did the whole month, and it worked out really well. I really enjoyed it. I don't think I filmed any of it. But this year I'm doing it. I'm gonna try to like really not skip a day. And what I did for the first one, oh, it's back here on my easel. There we go. The prompt was reflection. Let's see. Is that gonna, I might have to turn that down like we did before. Is that too, ooh, hopefully that's bright enough for you to see. It's a crocodile or an alligator, I'm not sure which, peeping out of the pond or the swamp or wherever alligators peep from. And so the reflection, which I realized I did some work to the eye with colored pencils. It just has to be primarily in watercolor, and then I forgot to adjust the eye in the water. But I'm like, oh well, whatever. And then the next prompt was momentum, and I was thinking, and I kept thinking of rollerblading and roller skating because we got the new pavement. I'll say pavement because a lot of people are like, what the heck is hot top? And I'm just like, oh, that's probably a main word. So I did roller skates for momentum, and it's very cartoony looking because I didn't have a reference to go by. I was just kind of like going by memory, and I just wanted to kind of make these like late 80s, early 90s motif skates because I had a pair of rollerblades with a similar motif on it. But I like the way that traditional quad skates look, so that's what I did there. So that's the 2 days down and 29 to go. But I love a good challenge, and if you're curious about World Watercolor Month, if you go to doodlewash.com, they have the list, or if you just search World Watercolor Month, it'll come up and you'll see the prompt list, and there's like 31 prompts. I just saved it. I saved, because I also posted it on Instagram, I just saved that to my saved Instagram thing, and I downloaded the prompt list photo onto my my computer just so I could open it up if I forget what the prompts are. Today's prompt is dainty, and maybe that will be up by the time you watch this video, maybe not. I did a video on the crocodile. It has not got a lot of views. YouTube really pushes those, you know, unboxings and reviews, but doesn't really push the tutorials these days, or people aren't interested in them. I'm not sure which is which, but anyway, it's there if you're curious. And coming up Sunday, I have this, which I love how it came out. Totally, like, what am I, like, nothing but pizza all the time now? So this was done. I used several reference photos. I found a photo of heirloom tomatoes, and I did the heirloom tomatoes from that, and then I found another one that had an onion and some mushrooms, and then I found another one with pizza. So I just kind of like bounced around from different photos and did this, and then just made like a wood grain background. This is on sanded paper with the Derwent Pro Colors, and I did review the Derwent Pro Color pencils. I think the video went up on Tuesday, so it's up on my channel if you want to see, but I will have a time-lapse of this on Sunday. I did not narrate it when I was recording it. I just was playing with those pencils. I'd never used the pencils before other than a quick little sketch, so I wanted to really pay attention to how they were behaving and not try to like narrate at the same time. So that will just be a time lapse on Sunday if you're interested in. They were a lot of fun to use on the sanded paper. I really enjoyed that. And what else this week? Oh, I don't know. I've just been I've been puttering around. I have a lot of work to do next week that is not going to be, well, will it be filmed? It might be filmed. I have to, it's for the Papercraft Society box that's coming out. It's actually coming out in December. It is a spring themed box, but it made total sense that they would have the Christmas stuff out in like October or November, so people would have a chance to craft the Christmas stuff. I didn't realize it was coming out so soon. So I'll be working on that next week, getting the the article written with all the projects, getting the project booklet written, and getting the projects designed and all that. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be a busy week, but I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll have some, I think we're going to get a lot of rainy days too, which will be nice because that will kind of keep me inside working and not lure me outside to the sunshine, to the kayaks. It'll keep me on task. So that's good. I'm just living my life, having a good time this week. I hope you are too. It's been good. It's been busy enough. I don't feel like I've been like right out straight or anything, but yeah, I hope you have a nice long weekend. 4th of July is Sunday, so we're supposed to get lots of rain, so I can't imagine there'll be a lot of barbecues, but if you're going to a parade, I hope you enjoy it. If you're hanging out with family and maybe having a backyard barbecue or anything like that, I hope you have a great day. If you get hopefully you get an extra day off from work so that you can have a nice long 3-day weekend, maybe squeeze in some creativity time or some time at the beach if you're going to have nice weather where you are. I don't know about Monday. I think we're still going to have rain. I'm thinking it's like, I think Tuesday might be the good day out of the week. I'm not sure. I don't really trust the long-term forecast. I kind of just trust what it's doing when I get up. It is nice that it was a little cooler today because I got to give the dog a really long walk. She'd been, we kind of had to break up her walks a bit because it was just like 90, and she doesn't seem to be bothered by the heat. I don't know if it's because she was from Georgia, but she didn't live there that long. She was a rescue, and they ship a lot of dogs from down south up to Maine and probably other northern states too, where there's you don't have like the pounds are not filled with dogs up here. It's dogs go very quick if they show up in a pound. But I guess there's an ample amount of stray dogs down in some of the southern states, and so she came from Georgia. So maybe she's more accustomed to the heat, but I mean, she was like 8 or 9 weeks old when she came up from Georgia, so I can't imagine that she would have been that accustomed to it. She will go sit on the deck and there'll be shade, and she will go over to the sun and just plop down right in the sun. So I'm telling you, she's my dog, all right. She likes the sun. I haven't tried the travel brushes I got yet. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to reviewing all the things that I showed you in the Prime Day video. But I haven't really, I just got the Pro Colored ones done. That one took a while. The color pencil reviews take a while just because of how long color pencil artwork takes versus watercolor. But those will be coming up soon. Reviews are doing pretty well on YouTube right now. It's so funny. I find it very interesting to see what is popular at different times, and you know, it's so weird. It's like I never know when I do something if it's going to be popular or not, if people will watch it or if they won't. Like with that bird on the wire tutorial, I thought that was going to be a big flop because of how long it was, but that one was my best viewed watercolor video in months. And then there's been other ones where like a lot of people, after I did the colored pencil crocodile eye, people asked if I would do a tutorial of that, and I didn't want to do the same thing again. So I thought with watercolor, when people will want to learn how to paint that because they were so excited about the colored pencil one, but it didn't translate. So it's weird. It's so weird to try to predict. I don't even try to predict anymore. I just do what I want to do and hope for the best. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been working on this week that would be of interest, or anything that I've heard about that would be of interest. World Watercolor Month. I mean, that's what I'm excited about. It doesn't seem to be as popular this year. I remember the year that I did it, it might have been the first or second year it had happened. I'm thinking it was like 2016, 2015, 2016. I'm thinking 2016. And it seems like there was all kinds of like people doing it. But then again, I think I was following that on Facebook, and now I'm kind of following on Instagram, and maybe it's not as popular over there. But basically what it is there's a prompt list. You can follow it or not. You don't have to. And you post a watercolor painting or a little watercolor sketch every day for the month of July. And the thing about a daily challenge, I think it really helps you level up your skills. And I think it just is helping me put brush to paper more frequently, because I would watercolor every single day, and you know, you just get busy and you get pulled away from different things, and then you might just get like I would get discouraged if I was doing a lot of watercolor tutorials and people weren't watching them. So I think that I've weaned off a lot on that just because I just got discouraged and kind of thought, well, what's the point? but a challenge like this just, it forces you to do something every day, and that's a good thing. It really will help you increase your skills. I know with the Inktober, at the end of the month, I have improved on whatever I've set out to do, whatever, because I usually use a prompt list, but also create a secondary thing where I will do, like, I'm doing hands, but I'll also use the prompt list, or I'm doing figures, and I'll also use the prompt list to just kind of give me a little bit extra boundaries to work in, because I find I'm much more creative when I have limitations than when it's just the sky's the limit. Like when I'm like, I've got the whole day free to create art with whatever I want, and it's like I can't decide what I want to work with, and it's like I waste so much time. But if it's like you've got to use this prompt and you got to work it into a watercolor, so I've got the limit of the medium that I'm using and the prompt that I'm using, and then okay, that gives me some good boundaries and bookends to get the work completed within. It helps me. It might help you too if you find yourself kind of in a rut or uninspired, or you just want something to give you that little push. And I think the other thing I really like about it is that because other people are participating, you can look and see how other people interpreted that prompt. I wait until after I'm done to look and see what other people have done so I'm not influenced, but it's fun to see how other people interpret it. And even on years where I haven't done it, I always love to see other people's work and see how they were interpreting that prompt, and I always regretted not doing it. You know, if it was like day 3 or 4 and it's like, oh shoot, I wish I did it, but then I didn't want to start it and already have missed 4 days. So since I always would feel regret if I didn't do it, I said, yeah, I really should do it this year. Oh, this is kind of interesting. My husband was cleaning out camping stuff and he found this thing, and I don't know if it was like a first aid kit or what, but it is like an airtight box. It's kind of difficult to open though, but I'm just wondering if I might make a sketchbook to fit in that or something, or maybe put postcards or something in there for like kayak painting. I'll have to figure out a way to open it though, because it's really hard to open. I don't want to break a fingernail. I cannot stand having a fingernail like break, or having my fingernail's not very long, but like I've never bit my nails, so I can't stand like to have any sort of like snag or any sort of like tear or rip or anything. I have to clip my fingernails if there's anything. This is difficult to open. I don't know how somebody without fingernails would open this. But anyways, it's like an airtight little box, and I thought I might do something with that, or maybe just use it to hold my little like my little Viviva color sheets and little tiny sketchbook or something. But then again, if it's really hard to get into, how much am I going to use it? It was one of those things, Jason's like, I was going to throw this out. Do you want it? And of course, I'm like, well, let me see that before you throw it out. He had a box of like scrap plywood scraps, like small scraps. And he's like, I'm just gonna chuck these, go burn them or something. I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. This is, you know how expensive wood is right now? Let me see if any of those will work for stretching watercolor paper. I've been getting so many questions about stretching watercolor paper lately, and maybe I'll do it. I do love painting on stretched paper, but it's kind of a pain to do, especially in the winter where it's not so warm, or when it's humid. So like summer and fall are like the best times to stretch your watercolor paper, at least around here anyway, as long as it's not too muggy or humid. But anyway, I can't get this darn thing open. I think it probably is just gonna have to say bye-bye. I don't know. Bye-bye. Remember that? Was that Saturday Night Live? That's all I have for today. That's more than, I didn't have that. How did I talk for almost 28 minutes about nothing? It's typical Sat Chat. Well, I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Hope you're enjoying your weekend, and I hope you have a nice long one. And let me know what you're up to in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.